What up,
What's up,
Derek?
man?
We're up on the
Thank
feed
you
now.
very much, man. I
Yeah, we're
appreciate
good.
it.
Paradise
Lives.
lives.
What's up, man? Thank you very much,
It's the
man.
delay, man. It's the delay.
I like it to the extent we can reach people that are in a distance, such as Derek himself. Um, I think it.
I
Yeah,
was about to
Yeah.
ask that, man. I'm honored to be that first virtual ParBar guest. I appreciate it.
Derek Mahoni
Whatever
vegan.
that is.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Let's do it.
let's go. Mm.
Insulting already, huh?
Yes, sir. Was it? I think it was 2018. Christmas of 2018 or something like that, like close to that. Oh, November. Yeah. That's right.
And yeah, man. And then we'll start from
Well,
there. I'll try to fix this audio.
um, really, like I tell people,
Oh,
I have a lot of siblings. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear him.
can't hear you. Oh, there you go. My fault.
That's
My
not a
so,
fault.
problem, Rich.
My fault. My fault. Do it one time. It's my fault.
so, to if I can remember your question correctly, basically, um, I tell people that I have a lot of siblings and they have mastered stuff and I haven't, but I've tried almost everything. So that's the way I learn, and basically by falling flat on my face, and then I've been more involved in the community in the past, as far as like out with like on a grassroots level, meeting each person, but now I choose to assist the community by growing my own roots and setting my own family, and giving them the culture and handing it down and stuff like that the way it's supposed to be. And I believe you're doing the same thing, and that's the best way we should approach anything, and especially here in America too, because they allow us to do it.
Um, kind of instill within your kids now, correct? Not only
Yeah,
your
I
kids,
mean,
but also like your nieces, nephews, and the ones
yes,
that are going to
yes.
surround you.
I take it as a personal responsibility to kind of expand their perception on anything, to not always just believe the way they judge something because they only have their background to bounce it off of, to get, to see it. So they got to get out there, and focus on their experiences, focus on their, how they want to grow, and then focus on their spiritual side, and that's all they got to focus on. So I try to incorporate that. Of course, like you said, we found out all together. Remember that on that cover night that most of us did not have fathers and in our houses. So we all saw how that was detrimental to our development,
Yeah.
or how that affected our development. I'm sorry, and so it was kind of like we didn't want to be part of it because we knew that we didn't have anything to, like, those kind of role models to start like being a father or stuff like that's kind of scary. I'm sure it was for you
Yeah.
first thought of it,
It's funny,
and
man. When we think back of those Kava nights, so I started a group down here in San Diego, and we continued those Kava nights, um, with our boys, younger, like probably teens to like younger
uh
generation, and kind of the whole premise. It's funny because those Kava nights, the dads were talking more, and they had the same situation that they never had dads, or they had crappy dads, and they just didn't want to be that. You know what I mean? So it's cool. It's good to see that the generation that I'm in, and or that we're in, is trying to make that big change.
I got a question.
Yeah.
yeah.
At what age did not having a dad like really start to affect you, or is there an age or a certain
Man,
part of your life?
I think it happened in probably like where I started finding back. Of course, I think it's the most natural when you become a teenager, because you're so longing for a place to belong that you're trying to force yourself, protect yourself from places you think you don't belong, and then find yourself and then, like, get in. You want to be tight with something, so you do anything you can to belong to something. You know.
Mm.
So if you don't get taught like how to be, strong with your character at an early age, given that example and that talk, to how to resolve your own issues, then I feel like that you're gonna figure it out some other way, like by getting um, trying to find out socially where you belong.
Mm. When do you feel like there's an area where you kind of
I'm
develop?
sorry. I hope that answered your question. I'm
No, no,
sorry.
no. It did, and I'm sure there's no certain answer for it.
Yeah.
I'm sure that varies by person. Um,
Do you
but yeah,
ever?
thank you.
Where do you feel like you kind of come into, or like most adults, particularly men, come into who they are? Because I feel like in your younger 20s, you're still super lost. Mid 20s, you're still super lost. Um, and then around, for me, mine was until I had a kid, and then I kind of figured out that I need to be an adult and figure out my life a little bit more, and morals needed to be really grounded, and just a lot better than what they were the previous times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was 30 years old. Um, and I always say this, that my 30s are definitely better than my 20s, for me personally. But what do you think, or what do you guys think?
I've noticed ever since I started to adopt those values, like what you're talking about, like we knew that the other ones weren't working because we grew up that way and it was pretty painful, right? So we were more, I guess, ready to try the opposite side of the spectrum, so let's see if that didn't work, let's go all the way to this side and see. And then, as I mean, like, I agree with you, the more, right when your perception changed, like having a kid, and it's like, wow, this is what I'm responsible for. Even when you get married, um that that tells you exactly what your job is from now on, and that there's no other way to handle it like that. You have to support those values. And I feel like life has gotten better since then. Like you said, I feel like my life, ever since I've adopted those values, it has incrementally gotten better.
Yeah. Well,
10% a day gets you to thousands of percent in within a year. So you know
what do
I
you
don't know
think,
if I
Twisted?
butchered that stat, but
I think think it's gonna really depend all on the individual too. I mean, everybody experiences different life experiences at different ages. Some people are gonna experience more at a young age, and they're gonna be forced to grow up faster and actually find themselves. I know, like, personally, like, my dad was in the picture, but he was always gone because he was always working. So I didn't really see him a lot. He wasn't really an influence on me growing up. So yeah, I mean, you're right. What you're saying, Derek, is like, you're at that age where you're trying to find yourself and figure out who you are. But what do you have for a role model? So you start reaching for people around you, the older people around you, or friends, or somebody to look up to kind of emulate and build yourself on. And you got to hope that the person that you're choosing at that time is actually a good influence on you. It's the right person. But yeah, you don't want to pick the wrong person, right?
Yeah. Good thing Derek was around.
Yeah, because look how you turned out. Good job, Derek.
With the alcoholics.
But yeah, but I think it's all going to depend on the person's life experiences, that at what age they experience these things and how it affects them. I think, and mentally, how they're going to accept that or take it in and make that, I don't want to say choice, but make that transition into becoming a young man or a man and maturing based off of their experiences. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you see it. There's some people, they'll go through some stuff, but they'll never grow up from it. They'll never learn from it. They'll use it as a crutch. You get some people where they have that experience, and man, they learn from it. And they try to do everything they can to never have that experience again if it was a bad one, right?
Yeah.
So,
one of my isms is wisdom is the result of realizing you were wrong the whole fucking time.
Right?
Yeah.
Where paradise lives.
Damn delay. I just need to get a sample and just play it.
Hey, Rich, Jonah's over here trying to comment, man. Shut up, Jonah.
Damn it, Jonah. Yep. Yep.
Celebrity world.
Yeah.
Are you good?
Yeah, you're good.
One of the what was I saying? Oh, the ParBar. Why the ParBar is here is that we can have civil discussions with our brothers, our sisters, and we can come to understanding that we don't all have to agree.
Yeah, you can agree to disagree.
Right. But Derek, what do you think about the community, or not the community, but the state of our current community that we're in versus via social media or even direct conversations?
And once again, like I think a lot of people are quick to jump on whatever topic is the most polarizing. Once, like you said, like, when do you guys mature, or when do we seem to get over stuff, like the father thing or whatever. And I have, to me, I feel like we have such a spoiled generation that's coming up, that especially the ones that are going to school and they're very convicted about the perspectives they have, because like how hard is your life going? How is your life that you have to go and pick on Paw Patrol? How hard is your life that you have to go and pick on Trader Jose's and get it banned from all Trader Joe's, man? Like seriously, like there's people out there struggling in this world, and man, just got to get that perspective. But I don't believe that 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 we have the ability, because first of all, nobody works on themselves. They want to because of that lack of maturity, they want to grab onto whatever ideals their heart fits. That's the liberal mindset. It's good to be liberal when you're young, it's good, it shows heart, that's great, you know but you got to be more judicial, or you got to find ways to navigate the what you support, because it's a lot of times it's all smoke screen and mirrors. The people always want to talk about voting, but the only true way to vote is with your dollar bill, man. What you buy on a daily is how you vote, man. And people don't understand that. How can you sit there and vote a guy into, or try to get a guy out of office, but you buying up all the shit that his business produces, you know? And like,
Can you explain that a little bit more
Yeah, can you elaborate?
yeah, a little bit on that dollar bill?
I'm just saying, industry is like, as your dollar gets spent, um, uh, you're choosing what comes into your area. Like whatever the community spends most, that's what they start to develop in that area to try to double down and stuff like that. So, so if you're choosing, like, oh, you want to be all organic and you want to be all this like that, but you're going to buy all this food constantly, people will say, why is organic food so expensive? Because we don't buy it enough to make it more abundant, so that we can start bringing it, what do they call that when they start
Supply and
making
demand.
it
Supply
uh
and demand.
not supply and demand, but scaling. When they scale it
Oh,
to a level so that the prices come down. If people aren't demanding it, they're never going to be able to scale it. So it's what we vote on. It's like, oh, the last election that we had was the organic food labeling. Okay, now I'm going to try to get my stats right here. So and see, people, here's something, like, people don't notice these subtle differences. So in that last election, we barely lost that, right? And I can't remember the numbers correctly, but it was something like close to 50, high 50s versus low 40s. And um but the biggest difference in it was the amount that was spent on one side to the amount that was spent on another side. It was a difference of almost $24 million.
And what is this? Was this for California, or this
Yes,
is
for the
federal?
state of California.
Okay.
So tell me why people are lobbying so hard to get this passed the other way. We know we wouldn't. The people that want the organic foods aren't going to pay for commercials and stuff to come out and go against this. Who's lobbying for it? The people that stand to lose. How much is it worth for them? Millions. If they're spending $24 million against it, they stand to lose millions if you choose to go with the labeling.
I see what you're saying.
ah.
So you're saying, what I think you're kind of getting at is that we need to pay attention more into our voting, besides even like career politicians, but also what we're voting on within our states, and then get
Yes.
to the federal level as well.
Oh, dude, I don't care about the federal level. The federal level is dirty
Yeah.
as hell. All right, you can't even touch that. But I don't want to hear none of these kids or whoever it is talk about the president when they can't even tell me who their city councilman is. They
Yeah.
can't even tell me who their fucking sheriff is. They can't even tell me who their fucking mayor is.
Yeah, we actually had that conversation maybe a month or two ago. Is that we kind of, well, I try to affect what directly affects me, which is with my city councilman, my mayor, within my city, and then I scale up from there. I don't see a point of trying to change the world when I can't even change my city, my hood. You know what I mean? So
That's where your kids are gonna live. So you should
exactly.
worry
So
about
Right.
that.
yeah, who's running?
Right.
Who's in my who's in the PTA? Why aren't you in the PTA? Why aren't
Yeah.
you involved there? So what do you think? Okay, so I heard a lot of discussion within the generation now that they what are just unknowledgeable of some of the things that they can directly affect. Correct.
Oh, what? I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? Sorry.
So, what I kind of heard was that your gripe or some of the things that you're looking at within the youth is that they're just not educating themselves enough for what directly they can achieve and affect
Yeah.
or be a part of. They're looking at the bigger scale of things where,
Yeah.
like taking down, like you said, taking down Paw Patrol when that's not really the issue. You should be looking at other things that you can help.
Yeah.
When you let me ask this question, and this can go across the board. When you see things like that, let's say social media, everyone's pushing for. Once again, they push for Aunt Jemima. Some people were for it, some others were against it. How do you even approach that conversation with someone that's younger than you? Like, hey, why is that a big deal?
Wow.
Without obviously offending them, right? Because that's the whole conversation, is having the civil discourse with them.
To be honest with you, I just let them talk, and then I keep asking questions, and let them. The more I let them express themselves, the better, the more they can figure it out.
They start hearing themselves. They start hearing themselves and finding a fault in what they're saying, and
hell just
eventually
came
they're
out my
going to pick
mouth?
up
But
on
you
it.
got to keep asking the questions.
Yeah.
You got to keep asking the questions. To be honest, like if they're certain age, like sometimes I'm blunt. I'll be like, okay, if they're really asinine and I can't control it, I tell them, you know what? I tell them whatever book it is that I've read that relates to whatever it is he's concerned about. I tell him read that and then come back and talk to me. You know. But yeah, most of them are respectful when I talk to, and I just let them talk and I ask more questions. So that's the right way to do it. But I believe it is.
What's one of the conversations you've had within, let's say, this year, that sticks out with you with someone that's younger than you, where they've kind of realized, like, hey man, maybe I do need to do a little bit more research. Maybe I do need to figure out some things before I even talk.
Yeah. So let me see here, without trying to out anybody or anything like that, but I guess I could just generalize. So a nephew of mine, we're so quick on social media, and I don't know if I'm ready to put social media as a viable or credible source for anything,
Right.
other than
Bullshit.
nonsense sometimes. So um but I try to bring up, so they're trying to get people fired. They're trying to bring out, like, blast this person's name and blah blah blah. So one of the things that I approached people of, like, as I try to decipher the subtle difference of whatever it is they're talking about from the post, and I noticed something, I tried to point it out to them, and all of a sudden they blasted me and like this, and they tried to tell me that this person is such and such. Why can't you just see that? And I said, I don't know this person personally. Why could? And I feel like that's a lot of it's one of our, thou shalt not give false witness. And that's rampant, giving false testimony, false witness. This is rampant, in social media and in America, or not even probably the world, but in our youth today, it's a lot of BS, false testimony, just because they feel like it's gonna save them time and energy on explaining themselves, or even deep thought, and stuff like that. So,
The comment of deep thought.
yeah.
This should save me some time. I ain't got to think that deep about it.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if that's their purpose, but that's kind of it could be a defense mechanism. I don't know.
I was thinking it, but you said it. So
So I'm going to go with what you said, and we can move on.
I knew I was right. Okay. Vince T.
Yo,
You're the youngest of us all. Do you ever see that within your generation, or around your age group?
as far as what? Which part?
Like false, like just people pushing like a false narrative and not really, or not false narrative, but
False opinion, or
yeah,
right?
you know, like maybe like a false
Like
opinion,
kind of
a
just
false
following
fact.
the crowd,
Yeah,
kind of deal. Oh yeah, I mean I see it all the time. And I can't say because I haven't talked to them personally.
yeah,
To see if they actually have done their research and have done or been through a certain experience, to maybe support this movement or whatever they have it. But I do know I do see some of the youth just kind of go out on limbs and start saying these things where it doesn't necessarily pertain to them, in which I kind of want to go back to. It's kind of where, like, know your community first. What we were kind of saying beforehand, right? And here's why I'm becoming bigger on that. I mean, like Rich said, I'm the youngest one of the group, so I'm still kind of learning my own self. Um, but you should tackle the issues that are at hand within your neighborhood, right? For I'm learning that now,
yeah,
and I think that's with help of Rich and Mark and everybody that we kind of surround ourselves with. I'm learning that now because honestly now, like, all social media and like all media will just blast of what's happening on the worldwide aspect. That doesn't really affect you like how your neighbor will affect you,
Hmm.
how your city council will affect you, and the things that are going on in your city. So when I see going back to youth and and trying to tackle any worldwide issue, my thing is, it's like I just try and let them know. I'm like, man, just try and start from the ground up. That's how you build your solid foundation, right? With anything, you start from the ground up with the little things, and then as you accomplish those and get educated on that, and help solve whatever issues are leading up to the bigger picture, then by all means you have the experience and the knowledge and the education to support your statements and or you know your
yeah.
comments towards whatever you're deciding.
I agree, man. Make your bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. But as we all see, we see people that maybe have never done anything before, and then just jump out on a limb and be like, "Oh, I'm a part of this movement," or "I'm against this movement," or what it have be. But there's really no backbone to it,
Hmm.
and now you're just kind of seeing, "Oh, I'm just doing this because my friend is doing it," and it's the friend could be right or could be totally wrong, but there's no, I guess, honest opinion and or movement within themselves, right?
Insincerity, right? Not instant,
Right, or
insincere.
genuine, I
Yeah,
should say.
about the protest.
Right, or whatever issue.
Yeah, whatever issue. But since we're on protest, once again, man, you're on you're on Black Lives Matter. Uh, you're on IslandBlock Radio, Postal Pacific, where paradise
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 lives.
lives. Oh,
lives.
we
We
getting it,
have
son. We
we
getting it.
have Derek Mahoni on here, and we're about to jump probably into more of the sensitive topics, and this is probably going to be even more sensitive. And man, you guys can. Derek is ready for your questions if you have them out there. So
I got one
let's
for you,
jump
actually.
into it. So a couple weeks ago, and this is why me and Derek had actually jumped into like some conversations and talking. Um, there was a Black Lives Matter post. Derek had posted on it, and I think I went in there and kind of trolled it a little bit because I just saw a bunch of people getting angry, and I asked them about some
Oh,
soup. Um, uh,
It
but
totally worked against me, and I'll explain after you're done.
yeah,
Anyways,
so uh, Derek Mahoney, I want you to kind of take the hosting of this little segment because, or let's introduce what happened in that conversation and then kind of like your perspective on it of Black Lives Matter.
wow. This is something like that I've been scared of for a while. Seeing how this cancel culture that we have going on right now is like
About
not
to
that
get
I
out.
have anything to cancel, but I'm
About to say you
scared
about to
of
cancel our damn show off Facebook
no,
Live.
but
thanks, Derek.
but 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 no, if anybody could navigate the words that to tread against, around lightly, I think I could do it. Hope I don't take up too much time on it. But again, that post was what I was saying. It was an individual that I knew for sure that these fellows have never met. It was whatever it was. It said hashtag was his son and his father. I'm guessing his father son combo with their birds up in the air, and it said FBLM.
Mm.
And I wasn't defending it, or endorsing it or condemn. But I felt it was my duty to not condemn it either. But what I did condemn was the judgment that they were so fast to put again, false witness. And one of somebody commented on there that they went. I mean, like, they have the time to go look up and they know for sure. But I'm like, if you ever try to take something to the court of law, man, there's stuff that could be proven and stuff that can't be proven, and there's a reason why they've developed these processes so that they can catch stuff that's inconsistent and find out actual truth rather than what your perceived truth is.
Right.
Yep.
And to me, I just measure it. If it can't hold up, not that I'm a lawyer or anything, but can it handle or stand up in court what you're saying and stuff like that? And the answer on this one was easy. It was no. Number one is because all of them. Number one, if there was any one of them that I knew, that they knew that person, I guarantee you I didn't know them. So right out the bat, I don't trust the source. And when I called it out, they couldn't give an answer. Like, nobody could say, "Oh, we met this person," or "I know this person for sure." If you haven't, that's why I say vote local, because chances are you're going to meet those local officials that you're going to vote for. And you're going to shake hands with them, and you might get to ask some questions and stuff like that. You get to find out from other people that know them because they're local, and eventually they'll make it national, but you have a local group of people that know this person. That's why I always say go vote local,
Yeah.
and it's important for that. And so I guess a lot of them were quick to jump on it. So now that I'm supposed, or they see it, that I'm trying to knock down the perception that this person should lose his livelihood, which is what their goal was.
Right.
In these posts, to lose his livelihood for a post that wasn't even racist, in my opinion, from what I saw. And a lot of it, nobody asked the question, why do I oppose BLM? And I found that, I don't know, have you guys ever read the mission, their mission statement, their whole thing about BLM? Because I have a
I
few
have not.
times, and
No.
about a few times, like, I read it over and over and over again, and just to make sure I'm not sitting here missing anything. But there's no deciphering what they're about, and they're to tread lightly. So two things that I definitely cannot endorse is so that we dismantle the patriarchal practice that requires mothers to work double shifts, so that so basically they're blaming, through this statement, they're blaming the reason why mothers work double shifts is because of the the prescribed patriarchal practice. That's us, Ricky. All right. That's all the young fathers out there, all right? They want to dismantle. They're not even mincing words here. Dismantle the patriarchal practice, and then they're blaming the fact that we work that the mothers work double shifts because of that.
All right.
How about the fact that they have programs, government programs, that encourage the patriarch not to be in the household, so that people on welfare can draw on more money? How about that?
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking
How
at
about the fact that all these things that create a fatherless homes and stuff like that, that's what causes it, and then the mothers, go out because God bless them. Some of them work and they get all the way through, and they become the big rocks behind their son's lies or their daughter's lies. You know.
Okay,
So
so you're against the organization.
yeah, I'm not against uh, reverence towards cultures like like and me growing up, my culture was the only thing, and I love anything like um, especially fiery young people that want to get their point across.
Yeah.
You know, and the sentiment Black Lives Matter, you don't even have to argue that. I don't even feel I need to say it. My actions should speak louder than anything else. So people that know me,
well, I'm thinking of it as a like if someone didn't know you, right, just through social media, going through threads, and you're like, well, yeah, I'm not for Black Lives Matter, but you're saying, I'm not for Black Lives Matter, the organization, the mission
yeah,
statement of
man,
what they're,
dude,
what,
my
but if you're,
biggest heroes, man, dude.
yeah,
My biggest heroes are all Bob Marley, Nelson Mandela. Come on, man, it's
Hey,
just ridiculous,
so let
man.
me ask you
okay.
something, just real quick. If a ballpark figure, what percentage of you think read that statement or read the mission statement?
Of people that argue it,
Sure, why not?
I could tell you this: the source of what the Facebook thing was. I sent it to him, and their answer was, "Wow, I did not know this."
Ah, that's crazy.
So uneducated opinions.
Yes. Okay. Want me to add the second one to it? Right here. We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure required by supporting each other as extended families and in quotations village. We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family. Are you kidding me? I grew up fatherless, and a Western prescribed nuclear family adopted me and got me to where at least I could function normally. Come on, man. That's ridiculous, man.
That's interesting.
Wow.
Rich, you're the same as me, buddy.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I'm reading this now, and I'm like, damn, I never knew any of this stuff. Super
That's what I'm
interesting.
saying. Like, come on, stop speaking out of your ass. And I'm not saying you guys. I'm talking about social media. Period.
Yeah.
You know. So, and even it's not even just social media. They're learning it from our biased ass news. All they're trying to do is sell clips.
Well,
Yeah.
they
No?
sell ratings, right? Our news and everything. They just want their ratings to be up so they can get paid and whatnot. I mean, that's their quote unquote job, right?
Yes.
So I mean, I guess it's our duty or everybody's duty to debate if they're gonna buy into it or not,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, man. That's exactly what it is. And then we got our politicians. They know the public is dumb. It's about manufacturing consent, to borrow a Noam Chomsky term. The politics is about manufacturing consent. So they know what buttons. Like they had William Barr on yesterday at Capitol Hill,
Oh
right?
yeah, I watched.
See how
that.
stupid those questions were, and then they didn't let him talk. It was all posturing because they knew that the people watching is the ones that trying to get the vote on their side. They only need to hear bullet points
Yeah.
and kill any logic that might come out of William Barr's mouth,
Right.
Attorney General,
And that's another
So
thing too, is that people don't understand. People don't understand the full realm of the law, and so if you just have those bullet points like you're saying, where they can just target and make a sound clip, boom, that's all they wanted. Just
Yeah.
that sound clip, cut,
That's it.
paste, put it on. Yeah, that's sad. Okay, so let's talk because one, thank you for that information of Black Lives Matter. I really didn't know a lot of that information. I'm actually probably going to read it after, just for the sake of reading it.
And can we post that source after this just so?
it's right on their website.
Yeah.
BLM.
Oh, is it? Well, I never read it.
It's dead on their website.
The mission statement on their website.
There is no misconstruing this shit.
Oh, okay. Well, if it's there, it's there. I mean, I'm not disagreeing. Or
If
anything
you just
like
go look
that,
up blacklivesmatter.com, I mean, you'll see it's pretty interesting. Once again, I'm gonna watch it all because I want to see.
and that's the organization, not the intent. Or
And I think that's another thing, right? I think there's intent, and then there's also other things like, because, well, obviously none of us are one of those who don't believe Black Lives Matter, right? We in the sentiment, we all believe Black Lives Matter. We all believe everyone's life pretty much matters.
Yeah.
I think some of the arguments that I've heard, and this is kind of what I was talking about, like conversation in your area. Do you feel like funding is disproportionate? Like your area, I know that in our area, Southeast San Diego, like our schools don't compete with the ones that are up north, even though we may get the same amount of funding. But that's also due to, you know, parent participation within your community. We really lack it here in Southeast San Diego, but you know that's because our community has to work, you know, those 9 to 5s to make sure that both parents are working typically, trying to put food on the table, trying to pay rent. You know, if you're up in La Jolla, the richer areas, or you know, say Mission Bay, you could probably have one parent working, you know, because they're probably making enough money to hold all that, and mom's going or dad's going to the school to help out. Would you say that there's a disproportionate, like, not funding, but like there's something that we're missing within our community and understanding of how the funds work for a city or state? Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. So
Let me try to put this better. So there's government funding within our state, right? But I don't think a lot of our community understand how that works, right?
Like
So
how it's allocated, or
how it's just be allocated, or like let's say okay we have street funding, okay, we want to get our streets redone. Why do our streets in Southeast San Diego look so much shittier than everywhere else? Always. Like why they always have ditches? How come they're never over here like street sweeping or fixing the fucking potholes? You know, like why is that shit never done here? But you go to La Jolla, everything's trimmed up nice. You go to Mission Valley, everything's done up nice. The streets, everything. And that's what I'm saying. Like I think there's something we're missing for sure, right? Like there has to be something we're not understanding.
Well, what do we have to offer? Think about it. The areas that you're talking about, right? In that conversation there, the areas you're talking about, they have something to offer back to the city, the communities, right? Whether it's the businesses that are there, the real estate, the view, things like that, tourism attraction. Southeast San Diego doesn't have that draw.
Doesn't mean we shouldn't get our streets done.
Yeah, it doesn't. But the way that type of stuff is allocated, it's going to be allocated more to those areas that draw people, and and when you draw people, you draw income.
so
What you have in Southeast San Diego are small mom and pop businesses, a couple of little, you know, name brand stores and stuff like grocery stores, but for the most part, it's just houses, people. You know, so there's no attraction for tourism. There's no income coming in to the community by the community, other than the small businesses, and that's not a whole lot. So what are they going to take care of more? The thing that brings income, or the thing that just sits there and eats up some income? You know, the funds that are given.
But
So
once again,
they're
that still doesn't
it
make
doesn't
right.
justify. It doesn't
Yeah,
justify.
that's
I
what
know,
I'm
and
saying.
I agree. It's not right, but I mean,
get what
that's
you're
just
saying,
to me. It's a theory of why. You know, you ask the question. That's my theory on it, because as long as I've lived here, my whole life, I've never seen them come in and do anything to beautify anything around here.
That's what I mean. And
When
then
you drive down the main roads and there's weeds growing off the main road,
yeah, fucking
and that's city
same
property.
height.
Yeah, and they don't do shit to clear them.
And that's what I mean. And you growing up as a youth, a child, a teenager, you know, that shit. I mean, you may not pay attention, but it's just the fucking road, you know, like whatever. But that shit matters. That shit should be cleaned up. That shit is done by the city. It has to be done by the city.
And see, and that's the thing. Like, you know, the question of, you know, are we missing something? I think so. Growing up here and you see that, you know, it's you get used to your surroundings, right? Until you go out of your surrounding and you see something different, and you're like, well, what the fuck, man? Why is it so nice over here, but it looks like shit over here?
Right.
So you should be getting pissed off about that and getting involved and asking those questions. You know, going to those city council meetings and being a voice and asking questions. Well, why this shit isn't being done where we're at? You go to those other communities, those people, like you say, they either work out at home or one person works, and they get involved. They want shit done. You know, they have that sense of entitlement because of their financial status or level. They want shit done right now. They're going to go voice their opinion. They want that money, you know, put into what they want it to be put towards, to beautify their community, to take care of their community. People here, whether they care or not, I don't know, but they're not showing up to these things and being that voice. You go to a city council meeting and it's going to be a bunch of senior citizens that don't have anything to do, and they're talking about the tree in the neighbor's yard that hangs over their fence, the neighbor's cat that meows too loud, but you don't have people down there beating it in the council members' faces saying, hey, look, you need to do something over here. Where are these funds going? How are you allocating these funds that you're getting? Because we're not seeing it. We want to see where this is going, and we want to see something done, and just be that constant squeaky wheel that gets that grease. So I think that's what we're missing as a community here, is that nobody's getting involved.
Unifying for the common good.
You just kind of, everybody here, you work to live and survive, and you go about your daily life and take care of your own, and that's it. You're not branching your vision out any further than that. And people should be.
Derek, do you get involved in those kind of conversations in your community?
Yeah, for the most part, it's just very important to be aware of everything that's happening in your community, whether it's developmental or something that's gonna bring business, but here's one factor that I kind of, I've read up pretty good on it. I'm not going to try to bounce out any numbers, but in a lot of these cities that we're talking about, there's a lot of people that are getting sectional homes and stuff like that, and in these cities, government paid for welfare, homes for their families and stuff like that. So when you get people that are paying half the price that other, they're basically getting a big time government assistance in these areas, their pride in their area is probably non-existent, so that's a big part of it. If dude, I've been in the hood, bro. Like come on, man. With all my cousins and everybody that we knew over there, Rich. Yeah. Come on, man. I'm in one area and nobody would think about throwing anything on the floor, and I'm in the hood for 5 minutes and I seen 3 guys throw napkins on the middle of the street, just down and stuff like that. They don't give a fuck. Yeah. And so if they don't give a fuck about that, then, and I'm not picking on any race. I'm Samoan, Tongan, Hispanic, whatever it is. In the hood, there's just no respect, because they're not forking over their hard-earned money. Most of them that are getting these plans over there, aren't doing it. That, like, even in the projects and stuff like that. So how are they supposed to have pride in, if they can't even do that, have pride enough to do that, then they're not going to give a shit about where the money's allocated. Prime example is New Orleans with Hurricane Katrina. The biggest travesty on there is the levees, right? And then they went and found out that it wasn't the politicians before that didn't get done, or the ones before. It was almost 60 to 80 years worth of corrupt politicians that kept taking money, saying it was getting redone, and nothing was getting done on those levees. So for that, they knew that they took advantage of that community, knowing that nobody was going to fish it out and research what's going on, because no hurricane had ever bothered it, until the one time they needed it to hold up, and stuff like that. So it's dude, they got you worried about Trump so much that you ain't even sniffing out the rats in your kitchen.
And speaking of which, once again, you're on IslandBlock Radio, Pulse of the Pacific, where paradise lives. Horrible. But why you just mentioned, we have Derek Mahoni on the call with us, virtual bar. He just dropped the name Donald Trump, which might just get us banned from Facebook for a week. One of the things we have coming up is the election year. Derek had said that this is the most important election he believes in his lifetime, at least up to now, right? We don't know what the future holds. You might get Donald Trump Jr. in 2024.
I got something to do with it.
I don't know, man.
Why is that? That statement right there, Derek? Why is that? Why is it that this is the most important one, in your opinion, in your life?
because I never lived in such a polarizing, this is every issue is, there's almost just a clear line, and there's no nuance, there's so without understanding all the nuances, we're never going to solve the issue, get to the finer points, we're never going to,
And for those who
um,
don't understand what you mean by the nuances, what are you referring to?
well, man, we are complicated beings, like we understand when things aren't right, like there's stuff that we can't communicate, like vibes, we just give it the number, you can say vibes and stuff like that, but it means something to, like, the word vibes and the actual vibes are it just gives you the idea, oh man, that's in, so nuance to me, it is, of course, it's the subtle differences between things, you know like how quick we are to label somebody. Like, for instance, if I say I oppose what BLM stands for, then I get labeled a racist.
Right.
Says, wait, there's a little nuance, there's a reason why,
Yeah.
like people, it's just people don't look for those subtle differences, they don't have patience for that right now, you
Mm.
know and
That's the
in
sad thing.
America.
And
That's the
Yeah,
sad thing because
well, my,
any conversation, there's going to be opinions, right?
yeah,
And if both sides were to actually take the time and generally or sincerely listen to each other, they would probably see those similarities. All right,
yeah,
they would see the differences, but then they would see the similarities, and they would probably find out that they're actually reaching for the same goal or the same belief or whatever it be. But they have to actually sit down and hear and listen to the other person, and that doesn't happen.
no,
Everybody's listening to respond and argue, and they
Yeah.
want their opinion to be heard, and they want their opinion to be the opinion of the mass. And that goes right back to what you were saying before with the whole social media posting and the Twitter wars and shit like that. That's all that's about. This is my opinion, this is how I feel about it, and I want everybody to believe it. And if you don't, you're wrong, and I don't like you, and I'm going to tell you why I don't like you. And it's idiotic. And I think I agree with you with what you're saying about this being a very important election. But it's sad because shit, when Trump got in, really, who was a good candidate for president at the time? There wasn't really anybody that was worth the shit running against him. And now look where we're at. Who do we have running that's worth the shit running against him? So the sad part about it, he's probably going to get reelected. Because there isn't anybody worth the shit that's going to run against him that can just come in and just annihilate him and knock him out and take over this country and bring it back to where we're supposed to be. It's not going to happen right now.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, man.
I,
Go ahead, Vince.
oh, go ahead. Yeah. If it's
oh,
go ahead.
sorry. So going back to the quick judgment, right, where you
Man, you shouldn't wear black on black. You know that, right? You look like
He
a
looks
floating head.
right, a floating head with a finger. Look
Rich,
at he
we're not
you
gonna
don't know
waste
what to
Derek's
say.
time with your lame jokes, all right?
I'm just saying, like I was sitting back there. I was like, man, I look like a floating head just talking
Man,
into
you
a
go
mic.
play Fortnite with them headphones, all right?
It's just tight.
Professional, son. All right. But anyways, Derek.
Hey,
So what happened to my lighting here?
Oh, there you go. Get that. Now going back to the quick judgment, and where you said there's like subtle instances where people don't really pay attention to. Do you think people uh judge quickly to justify their own characterization?
Yes, a lot of them don't feel comfortable with who they are, so they want to make sure that they
They
distance
want to blame
any
somebody else.
notions that they don't like us enjoy staying a mystery, so to speak.
Mm.
And like I tell people are quick to put down what they want to do politically, and I always tell them, I said, bro, nobody else isn't allowed to booth with you, bro. It's just you by yourself.
Mm. That's
Fucking
that
dummy.
that no, it's true. I just wanted to say that because I think that's a lot of people's I don't want to say issue, but that's I guess the challenge
Why should you know who I'm going to vote for when all I want to do is expand my reasons why I'm going to vote for by having a valuable conversation with somebody that might oppose me or help me think of it deeper, Right. That's the use. That's what's useful with this conversation.
You know,
It's not so that I could tell you who I'm voting for and like, wow, like that's.
yeah. And I think the weird thing too is like, for anybody who wants to know who you voted for, it's like,
Why does it matter?
do you want to know? So
Right.
if I tell you
You can pick
Trump,
a
you gonna
fight.
yell at me?
Why
Yeah,
should
exactly.
I tell you what
Yeah.
that?
Picking a
what's
fight.
that going to tell you about me?
Right.
That has nothing to do with me. You
Yeah.
know?
Mhm.
That's
If you want to
weird.
find out about me, go find out from my friends and family.
Yeah. Or let's
There
go
you
eat.
go.
Let's go eat and talk. Or let's go have some drinks. I'll tell you exactly who I am and what I think about you, motherfucker. Um, yeah, I agree with everyone here. Like, I think it is an important election year. But once again, I think 4 years go by so fast. I think it's just it's scary, kind of. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what's going to happen after the election. Let's say Trump does win. Fucking people are going to lose their mind. They don't even know why.
Yeah.
Or they know why. They know why they're losing their mind. But it's sad that they would. And then if on the other end, if Biden wins, who knows what's going to happen to the United States or the economy, especially if the Democrats get House, Senate, and the White House. That's kind of a scary thing too. I think it's even kind of weird that Texas is turning purple. So that just tells you a lot.
I don't believe that, man. I swear to God. I lived in Texas for 7 years.
I ain't never lived there, but I was like, man, that's a trip.
I don't. I really don't like. I might be wrong. Hey, buddy.
What's up? Was that Napu?
That's Keppa.
What's up, Cap?
But I guess we'll see. We'll see when the election happens. But hey, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, once again, obviously you should vote. Everyone should vote. Vote for not just the president, but everything else that's in there, propositions, and get involved and learn, dude. Learn about like you were saying earlier, Derek. Learn about the propositions and what you're really signing up for. If you don't understand them, go ahead.
Vote for your interest too.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if the candidate is covering your interest, then so be it. You vote for your interest, right?
Yeah. That's why I say I have no party. It's because I vote what's best for my interests.
Right.
Within my district, even within my city, and then within my state, I vote what benefits my family.
Everybody, if every family did it that way, every person, then everything is fair, right?
Yeah. It's okay.
Unfortunately, people go like this when they go vote. Huh? What did you say? Huh? Not even looking at their paper. But yeah, that's who I'm voting for. I wrote it down yesterday.
Yeah. With that being said, though, man, I think we're running out of time because this guy got to go to bed.
What's up, Makana?
You haven't met Makana. You met him now.
Yeah, this is my little one.
Oh, and that's his Nina, his godmama.
What the? Come on, see that?
I know. Yeah, I gotta call security.
I
gotta call
Security, get her out of there.
I want to thank Derek you for coming on, man. I think you hit some good topics, and I actually want to dive a little bit more deeper into those. So if you want to come back on, brother, we're definitely willing to have that conversation. Especially after reading some things, I want to really read this Black Lives Matter, because that is concerning. But
I definitely don't think this is the last time he's on. So
no,
I appreciate
that.
Not. I would love to come on. Just let me know, man. I appreciate it.
I feel like we just hit the tip of the iceberg. There's just so much information.
There's more conversation here to be had, definitely.
Yeah. Man, anything else, Derek?
No, man.
Probably
nuance for everybody out there. Go learn nuance. There's subtle differences that you could cling on to that explain a little bit more about who we are individually.
Right. Roger that. With that being said, you guys got anything else?
I'm good, brother.
Recommendations. Let's do one recommendation each. I'll go with Twisted first.
I'd say take some advice from Derek, man. Start practicing and trying to improve yourself on having those nuanced conversations, right? Start having a conversation with somebody and learn to just sit there and listen to what they're saying. Let it be a debate, but do it with an open mind and open heart, and try to learn about that person. Let that person learn about you, and what your thoughts, your beliefs are, and use that as a practice for the bigger crucial conversations.
Yeah.
Like that. I got some nuance for you, Vincent, with that background you got.
Yeah, get an iron on that shit next time.
Vince T, what you got?
Hey, shut up.
Okay, next.
How about that? How about we live in the hood? We can do
Yeah,
it.
hey, that's great advice.
That's a great
The
recommendation.
hell of a suggestion right there.
Nah,
Hey, shut
nah.
the hell up.
Recommendation. After listening to Derek speak, I would say go out and during this time do some research on your community leaders, councilmen, principal, just the people around you that actually are in the position to make a difference. I would say that do some research on them, because you'll find out if they're genuine or they're not. You'll find out, and then from that response, you'll figure out what to do.
Derek?
Yeah, man, never stop being accountable for yourself, man. The moment we depend on politicians to solve our problems is the moment that this thing goes to shit. You know, it will just so everybody's got to be accountable, man. You have your own weight to carry.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think mine is I recommend that I need to
Nobody
go.
cares.
Yeah, I need to go work on this Zoom meeting because I have echo in my earphones.
Yeah. I recommend we get better for the next one.
Yeah, so that's gonna be my
That's what I
recommendation.
recommend.
Is tune into the next virtual ParBar, and it should be better. That's gonna be my recommendation. All right. With that being said, man, we're getting out of here. Estelators.
Shoots.